Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, everybody. Please remember to mute your device when you come on and answer when it's your turn. Have your camera activated unless you're staff, and then you need to indicate on your screen that you're staff. And they're testing the fire system in the new building today, and you might see that little flash in the background, which I can't do anything about. And if the siren goes off, we'll just have to cope. All right, so it sounds like everybody for now. I'm going to call through the docket. Let me have your time announcements. The person who announces first should be the one who set the case for today. First two cases are connected SIJS cases, Cruz Guzman and Enamorado Cruz. Mr. Lozado, are you here? Lozada?
I'm here, Your Honor.
Great. About 10 minutes or so for both of them.
Yes, Your Honor.
Great. And we've got a translator.
Yes, Your Honor.
Great. FM 20-007109, marriage of 04 and 04.
Your Honor, I am the movement on that case. I have filed a motion to withdraw. I believe we have an agreed order that was signed by all the parties that was submitted yesterday.
All right, we'll look at that in a minute. AG 16002476 in the interest of Harrison.
Your Honor, I'm withdrawing from that case as well.
And I also, Cassandra Noel, we also have a motion to enter. So we both have case motions up before the judge today, or the court today.
My apologies. I believe it will take about 5 minutes.
Okay. And I had seen Carrie Ward's name someplace. Is she still involved in the case?
Yes, Your Honor. She's my co-counsel.
Oh, okay. All right. Is she with who?
We are both with.
You're both withdrawn. Well, but if you sign the order, doesn't that take care of the thing anyway?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. We'll be back to that in a second. Thank you all. FM 19007909, marriage of Crockett and Salinas.
Yes, Your Honor, we're here. My name is Karen Bryson. I'm an attorney for the movement, Mr. Demetrius Crockett. We're on a motion for alternative service.
All right, we'll get to that quickly. Thank you. AG 18001663 in the interest of Villalpando.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Jesus Cifuentes, I represent the movement petitioner Adam Villalpando. And we have a motion for clarification that the Attorney General, Assistant Attorney General, and I have been discussing, and we're agreed that that's what how it should be clarified. And so expect that with any questions from you, it might take 15 minutes.
William Perkins for the Office of the Attorney General, Your Honor. I agree with Mr. Cifuentes.
I looked at this yesterday, and the issue had been had the mother had notice of what was going on.
Yes, Your Honor. We had at the previous hearing, I had given notice for an in-person hearing, and so Judge De La Yata asked me to send the notice again and give her notice for a two things, for the Zoom hearing, and her email had changed, and so we changed her email and gave her the notice of the Zoom hearing.
Oh wait, well she's even here. I just noticed. Miss Estron, that's you?
Yes.
And have y'all talked to her, and does she know what you're trying to do?
Well, this is the first that we see her, Judge. So we haven't. I've been unable to reach her. She defaulted on the previous case, and so she had not appeared, and she didn't file an answer. So she totally defaulted on the underlying case.
Your Honor, can I say something real quick?
Sure.
Your Honor, Don Adam had picked up my son and took my phone, so he got into my Gmails. I had my neighbor take me to his sister's, which I couldn't get back into, so that's why I couldn't get into my old Gmails. So I don't even have a regular working phone. I'm using my neighbor's because he got into my Gmails. So I made another one, and so I'm not able to get in because it keeps logging me out. It's been really difficult with Don, and I don't have anybody to represent me. I haven't got court dates on time. I got them late. I got a postman 2 days later on it. There's just a lot of things that he wasn't supposed to do that was set on the order form, and he's broken a lot of them. He's come over here, caused trouble. I've called the sheriffs on him before with the
All right.
previous
All
person I
right.
had.
All right. So that's more than I can deal with at this moment.
Yes.
I'm going to put the four of you in a breakout room so
Okay.
that Mr. Cifuentes and Mr. Perkins can tell you what is going on today.
Okay.
And then when we actually talk about the case, we can talk about some of that other stuff. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. And you'll have to click on a button to go to that room. So look at your device and it'll say join breakout room or something like that. Do that.
Okay.
Can you see
Thank
that on your phone, Miss Astran?
Yes, sir.
All right, go. All right. We'll see you in a few minutes. Next case, FM 21007367, the marriage of Ruiz Lozano and Alberto de Jesus.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Sorry, de Jesus Ramirez.
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. Good morning. Claudia Velasquez for the respondent. We have submitted the final order. Everyone's in agreement. We just want to make sure that the court has it before we're able to log off, with your permission.
We'll look at that in a minute. Thank you. AG 15001784 in the interest of Baber. Who's here on that? I saw Mr. Baber. Sir, can you unmute your phone or device?
Oh, sorry. Yes, sir.
There you go.
Judge,
Yes.
I have an email from Nicolette Modesto saying the hearing is no longer needed. They're passing.
So, okay. Well, Mr. Baber, I'm not clear what was going on because there's no motion filed, but maybe Miss Modesto was trying to get out of representing Ms. Williams. I think that's who her attorney is, although I'm not really clear about that. Is there anybody else as the AG here on that case? All right. Well, anyway, Mr. Baber, apparently nothing's going to happen today. So thank you for coming, but you're free to go.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Take care. FM 21005388 in the interest of White.
Present, Your Honor, Cassandra Noel, for Mr. John White. We have a motion to withdraw. It should take about 5 minutes.
You've never had service. Nothing's ever happened in this case.
Correct, Your Honor. And that's part of the reason we are withdrawing.
And Mr. White had notice of today.
Yes, Your Honor. And he accepted the calendar invite as well. I was expecting him to be here.
But you sent him the Zoom notice, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. Well, I'll let me finish through this, and it looks like y'all are cleaning house on withdrawals today.
Yes.
All right. All right. Next case, FM 13003240. In the interest of Bethard.
Your Honor, Stephanie Preston here on another withdrawal. On that one, I've provided notice to my client. Mr. Kennedy from Graham Becker has already signed. So, and I've submitted that to the court. I just haven't been able to get my client to sign off.
All right. We'll be back on that in a second. And then the final one, FM 22002351. The Douglases trying to prove up a divorce. You got kicked back.
Go ahead.
All right. So you're both here.
Yes.
We'll look at that. There's everything on here is very, very short, I think. I'm pretty sure it's all. So I'm just going to go in order on these, and we should be done pretty quick. Let me go to the SIJSs.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Hi. My mic wasn't working a while ago. I'm here from Ms. Cheryl Powell on 200071109. We had a motion to consolidate. We've emailed the court a signed order on both sides on the
And there's something about that I need to look at. So also the other side's trying to withdraw. So we'll look at that in a minute.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor.
Yes.
This is Cassandra Noel. I don't know if you called another one of my cases that was set for today, which was D-1-FM-06-000857.
An FM06 case?
Yes.
What's the name?
My client's name is Long Hong, and it's in the interest of the.
So there's no FM. I'm sorry, that's not on my docket. Charles, is that? I don't have the other docket pulled up. Would you look? Is that on unannounced or standby?
I am not finding that.
FM. Hold on. Let me look at my other list. FM06. Those kids ought to be almost aged out by now.
Yes, which is part of.
I see it. I see it on the whole docket. Charles, it's not showing up on unannounced.
No.
It shows it's set for today. It says it's a motion to enter termination of wage withholding order. And so, oh wait, it says, hold on, let me read this docket note. All right, so here's the motion. And
Judge, I know where the case is.
okay.
It was assigned to Judge Mangrum. That's in her court.
Oh, okay. Well,
we
Charles,
will jump on that one as well.
So,
I apologize.
well, and so Charles, would you teams or let me just do that real quick. Hold on.
I apologize, Your Honor. I thought it was the same Zoom link. Well, my paralegal put it down for the same.
No
Zoom
worries, no worries. Hold on. Let me just tell her. So do you think you do you have the Zoom link?
I believe so. I'm searching right now. I think it may be this one. And I can jump on another device, Your Honor, and be on hold here. Both matters for mine will take roughly 5 minutes each at the most.
All right. I sent her a note. So anyway, she she'll have some notice of that now. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Back to the SIJSs. That's that one. First one is D1FM 22004258. In the interest of Genesis Natalie Cruz Guzman, a child. Appearances, please. Did we lose Mr. Lasada?
Yes. Sorry, Your Honor. I apologize. We're ready, Your Honor.
Right. I'm asking for an appearance.
Juan Lozada for the petitioner in this case, in both cases.
All right. And is your client here?
Yes, Mr. Garlin is connected, Your Honor. Yes.
Is he perhaps the gentleman in the red jacket?
Yes, Your Honor. With the hat, yes. Mr. Garlin?
Sí.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Hanson,
Yes, Your Honor.
you can say your name and number.
This is Spanish License Court Interpreter number 1599, Marco Hansen.
All right. Mr. Cruz, would you raise your right hand?
Señor Cruz, por favor, levante la mano derecha.
You swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
¿Jura o afirma usted que el testimonio que va a dar será la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad?
Lo juro.
I swear.
All right. And please take your hat off for court.
Gracias. Y por favor, quítese la gorra en el tribunal.
Gracias.
Okay.
Thank you.
Gracias.
All right. Mr. Lozada.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Garlin, could you please state your full name for the record?
Señora Garlin, por favor, diga su nombre y apellidos completos.
Garlin Manuel Cruz Guzmán.
Okay. Could you please tell the court where were you born? Mr. Garlin, could you please tell the court what place were you born? Mr. Hudson?
Oh, he may not be. I'm sorry. I didn't, Mr. Hanson, I didn't activate the interpretation channel. I thought we'd just do it.
Okay.
Since it was so short.
Sure.
I'm sorry. I
No,
forgot.
no, that's a good idea, Judge.
Forgot to tell you that part.
All right. Señor Garlin, por favor, dígale al juez en dónde nació usted.
Honduras.
Honduras.
Okay. And what is your relationship with Yeira Saheli Enamorado Cruz?
¿Y cuál es la relación entre usted y Gayla Saheli Enamorada Cruz?
Ella es mi sobrina.
She's my niece.
And where is Yeira's mother?
¿Y dónde está la mamá de Jada?
La mamá de ella murió viniendo para acá.
Her mother died coming here.
And when did she die?
¿Cuándo murió?
Ella murió el 29 de ¿qué mes fue ahorita? Septiembre de 2021.
She died the 29th of September 2021.
And in what country was she in when she died?
¿En cuál país estaba ella cuando se murió?
Aquí en Estados Unidos.
Here in the United States.
And did you were you called by the sheriff's department to identify her remains?
¿Y el departamento del sheriff le llamó a usted para identificar el cuerpo?
Exacto.
That's exactly right.
What's the name of the father of the child?
¿Cómo se llama el papá de la niña?
César Augusto.
It's Sarah Uto.
Eusea,
Elutea,
enamorado.
enamorado.
Okay, and where is he at?
¿Y dónde está el papá?
En Honduras.
Honduras.
And has he been informed about this case?
¿Él se ha informado sobre el caso?
Sí,
Okay.
Yes.
Where is the child right now? Under whose custody?
¿Dónde está la niña ahorita? ¿Bajo el cuidado de quién?
de mi persona.
Me, personally.
Sí.
Has the father of the child ever been involved in her financial well-being or her financial support?
¿El padre de la niña alguna vez ha ayudado con el apoyo económico de la niña?
No,
No,
en ningún momento.
never.
Okay. Was he? Can you tell me a little bit about Mr. Cesar Augusto Enamorado Uceda?
¿Me puede contar un poquito sobre el señor César Agosto Enamorado?
Pues, cuando él vivía con mi hermanita, abandonó a la niña de 1 año junto con ella y pues se separaron al año de que ella nació.
Well, when he used to live with my younger sister, he abandoned her with their 1-year-old daughter. They got separated a year after the baby was born.
Yeah. And has he expressed any desire to be part of the child's life?
¿Y el papá ha mencionado algún deseo que tiene para formar parte de la vida de la niña?
No.
No.
Do you have an opinion on whether or not the child should be placed with him?
¿Usted tiene alguna opinión sobre si la niña debe de vivir con él o no?
Para mí que no.
I don't think she should.
Yeah. And do you have an opinion on whether the child should remain in the United States under your custody or be returned to Honduras?
¿Y qué opina usted? ¿La niña debe quedarse aquí en Estados Unidos bajo su cuidado de usted o regresar a Honduras?
Para mí que viva aquí bajo mi custodia.
I think she should live here under my care.
And why is the reason why she shouldn't be sent back to Honduras?
¿Y cuál es la razón que ella no debe regresar a Honduras?
Hay un país muy lleno de mucha violencia para los jóvenes.
It's a country that's really full of violence for young people.
Okay, and is there anybody that could care for her in Honduras?
¿Y hay alguien que la puede cuidar en Honduras?
No.
No.
Okay. How are you planning? Do you have a job, sir?
¿Usted tiene trabajo, señor?
Sí.
Yes.
And how long have you been living in the U.S.?
¿Y cuánto tiene de vivir en Estados Unidos usted?
Voy sobre 5 años.
¿Mande?
Voy sobre 5 años.
More than 5 years.
And if the child is placed under your custody, are you able to support her financially?
Y si la niña se queda bajo su supervisión, ¿usted tiene cómo apoyarla económicamente?
Sí.
Yes.
Claro que sí.
Of course.
Are you married?
¿Está casado?
Sí.
Yes.
Is your wife in agreement with taking custody of the child?
¿Y su esposa está de acuerdo con cuidar a la niña?
Sí.
Yes.
Por supuesto que sí.
Of course.
And do you have any other children?
¿Ustedes tienen algún otro hijo?
Con mi esposa tengo dos niñas.
I have 2 daughters by my wife.
And how many people total makes up right now your family unit?
¿Y cuántas personas en total hay en su familia ahora?
Está mi hermanita, mi sobrinita y mis 2 niñas.
It's my little sister, my little niece, and my 2 daughters.
And are you telling the court that you are capable of supporting all 4 of them at this time?
Entonces, ¿usted quiere decirle al juez que usted puede apoyar a las 4 en este momento?
Sí.
Yes.
Your Honor, I have no more questions on that child, on the Yeira Shaheli Enamorado Cruz child.
Señor juez, yo no tengo más preguntas sobre esa niña Yeira Shaheli Enamorada Cruz.
Hold on just a second.
Un momento.
Okay, I don't see the mother's death certificate attached to any of this.
No veo el acta de defunción de la madre aquí adjunto.
Do we have that?
We do.
¿Tenemos el acta? Sí.
I see an incident report attached to how do you pronounce her name? Yura?
Yes.
I see an incident report attached to Yura's case, but I don't see, and I see the birth certificate, but I don't see a death certificate.
Yo veo el informe de incidente en el archivo de Yeira y su acta de nacimiento, pero no de defunción.
La carta de difusión aún no me la han dado en la funeraria porque aún no he enviado el cuerpo a mi país. El cuerpo de ella aún sigue aquí.
I have not yet received the letter confirming her death from the funeral home because her body has not yet been shipped back to her country. It's still here.
Well, but I thought this happened in 2019.
Pero pensé que esto pasó en 2019.
No, fue el 2021, la muerte de ella.
No, her death was in 2021.
Well, okay, it's still been over a year. Mr. Lozada, there should be a death certificate.
I think, Your Honor, what we understand is happening is like they have been, it's somewhat expensive, very difficult to coordinate with the Honduras government, the repatriation of the body. And apparently the funeral home, as long as they hold the body, for some reason, they are claiming that they cannot actually ask for the issuance of the death certificate. That's the situation we have been having with the funeral home. I mean, we do have evidence that she passed away, but we unfortunately have not been able to secure from the funeral home that after, and again, we still waiting for the permission of the Honduran government to be able to repatriate the body.
Según entienda yo, es muy difícil el proceso de repatriar el cuerpo según el gobierno hondureño y por eso el funerario está esperando ese trámite antes de entregarnos el acta de defunción.
Exacto. La acta de difusión, yo he hablado con la funeraria y como ya tiene bastante ella de haber muerto, tiene más de un año, la carta de difusión la van a hacer a mano y la van a llevar a un juez al condado de La Paz o Uvalde para que la pueda firmar un juez para poder enviar el cuerpo de ella a Honduras.
Yes, that's right. The death certificate, according to what the funeral home told me, since it's been over a year since she died, it has to be filled out by hand and taken to a judge in Wayo County so that her body can be shipped back home.
Passed away in Uvalde, Your Honor.
Yeah, in Zavala County.
Yeah, exactly.
Murió en Uvalde, condado de Zavala.
Is it so? The incident report doesn't have any certification to it. Do you think we could get a certified copy from the Zavala County Sheriff's Office?
El informe de incidente no tiene certificación. ¿Podría conseguir una copia certificada de la oficina del sheriff del condado de Zavala?
Yo tengo el reporte del sheriff que el sheriff me lo mandó de Zavala.
I have the report that the sheriff in Zavala sent me.
Well, I was talking to Mr. Lozada.
La pregunta era para el abogado Lozada.
Oh,
yeah.
So,
Yes, Your Honor.
Could we try to get the county to give us either a business records affidavit or a certified copy of that?
Sure, Your Honor. Certainly do our best, Your Honor.
And these kids are 15 and 13, maybe?
Yeah, one of the issues, and that's one of the reasons why we're hoping to get an order signed today, Your Honor, is because they are from Central America. Once we submit the special immigrant juvenile petition, they still have to wait for the priority date, which could take.
I know, but I am uncomfortable without having a certified record of the event. So, and also, you've done other SIJS cases?
Not many, Your Honor.
The orders that you've submitted are rather thin with what I'm used to seeing. That they don't recite the findings like some of the other people have. Let me, I can't do it right now, but let me find, I mean, I've done a zillion of these. So let me find one of those and send it to you, because I want to make sure that you have all the necessary findings so that you don't have trouble down the road. I'd rather catch it now. So let's do this. Check with La Zavala County, see if we can get a business records affidavit or a certified copy of that incident report. And then I'll email you the other orders so you can look at and make sure we do this right. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Cruz, I'm sorry for your loss. That's a terrible thing.
Señor Cruz, siento su pérdida. Mi sincero pésame por lo que sucedió.
Gracias.
Thank you.
How are your nieces doing?
¿Cómo están las sobrinas?
Ellas ahora no fueron a la escuela porque teníamos la corrida de la reunión. Aquí están ahorita conmigo.
They didn't go to school today because of the court meeting. They're here with me right now.
Oh, okay. But they like school otherwise?
Pero aparte de eso, ¿están contentas con la escuela?
Sí, les gusta mucho.
Yeah, they like it a lot.
Good. All right. Well, we'll try to get this wrapped up this week. Mr. Lozada, we'll email you if we need to have some conversations. We can.
Thank you.
All right. Good luck.
Vamos a tratar de resolver todo esta semana y estoy en contacto por email con el abogado Lozada. Buena suerte.
All right.
Gracias.
All right.
Will we need to enter testimony on the other case or no, Your Honor?
Let me just call the other case.
Okay.
So it's, well, or Chris, make a note that we also did FM 22006915, and the court finds that in both of the cases, the fathers submitted waivers authorizing this process, and that the facts are obviously the same for both, that the mother died while crossing and
not quite, Your Honor. The second case, both parents are actually in Honduras. They send the child with a smuggler with grave danger, and the child now lives here. They cannot support the child. They simply cannot. They have too many children, and they don't have the source.
I'm sorry. I thought it was the same mother in both cases.
No, Your Honor.
Oh, well then, sorry. FM 22006915 in the interest of Enamorado Cruz.
That's the one for testimony on.
That's the one we took testimony on?
Yeah.
Because I called the other case.
So now the 258 is the one we are about to.
Well, 258 is the one I called the first time. All right. So then FM 22004258 in the interest of Cruz Guzman. Mr. Cruz Guzman, would you Raise your right hand. You swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Bueno, señora Cruz Guzmán, en el caso FM 22002548, por favor, levanta su mano derecha otra vez y afirma o jura que el testimonio que va a dar será la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad.
Lo juro.
I swear.
All right. Go ahead.
Bueno, siga.
Sorry, Your Honor. Okay, so Mr. Cruz, could you please tell me your relationship with the child Genesis Natalie Cruz Guzmán?
Señor Cruz, por favor, dígame cuál es la relación entre usted y la niña Genesis Natalie Cruz Guzmán.
Hermanita mía.
¿Hermanita?
Sí.
She's my little sister.
When did she arrive in the United States?
¿Cuándo llegó en Estados Unidos?
Ella entró el 16 de agosto del 2021.
¿Cuál?
El 16 de agosto del 2021.
She arrived on August 16th, 2021.
And since that point, who has she been staying with?
Y desde ese momento, ella ha vivido ¿con quién?
Conmigo.
With me.
Sí.
Yes.
And is your spouse in agreement with you offering to take care of the child full time?
¿Y está de acuerdo su esposa que la niña viva de tiempo completo con ustedes?
Sí.
Yes.
And are you able to financially support her?
¿Y usted tiene los medios para apoyarla económicamente?
Claro que sí.
Of course.
Who is Jose Antonio Cruz Flores?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Who is Jose Antonio Cruz Flores?
¿Quién es José Antonio Cruz Flores?
Es nuestro papá.
He is our dad.
Is he alive?
¿Él está con vida?
Sí.
Yes.
Where does he live?
¿Dónde vive él?
Honduras.
Honduras.
Who is Guzmán Castellanos?
I'm sorry, Mr. Lozado, you're cutting out. Can you say that again?
Yes.
Who is Orbélica Guzmán Castellanos?
¿Quién es Orbélica Guzmán Castellanos?
Orbelina.
Armelina.
Orbelina. Es nuestra madre.
That's our mother.
Sí.
Yes.
And where does she live?
¿Y dónde vive ella?
Honduras.
Honduras.
Could you explain to the court why they are unable to care for your sister?
Explíquele al juez, por favor, por qué ellos ya no pueden cuidar a su hermanita.
Por lo mismo, el lugar donde vivimos está lleno de violencia. Hay muchas pandillas que quieren que tomaran los jóvenes de temprana edad a que trabajen para ellos y pues es el miedo que ellos tienen.
Mute their camera. There's lots of noise. I'm sorry.
Mr. Strawn, you need to mute, please.
Their audio.
The reason is the same as for the other girl. The place where my parents live has a lot of violence, and there are gangs there that are actively trying to capture young people and force them to work for them.
Okay. And could you please tell the court, if your parents are able to financially support your little sister?
Y dígale al juez, por favor, ¿sus padres tienen cómo apoyar económicamente a su hermanita?
No, porque tiene varios niños más.
No, because they have several other children.
Okay. And have they asked you to care for her until she is an adult?
Y le han pedido que usted la cuidara hasta cumplir la edad de mayor?
Sí, claro que sí.
Yes, of course.
Could you please tell the court if you are financially able to support your sister until she is an adult?
Dígale al juez, por favor, si usted tiene los medios como para apoyar a su hermanita económicamente hasta que ella sea adulto.
Sí.
Yes.
Do you believe it will be in the best interest of the child to return to Honduras?
¿Cree usted que lo mejor para la niña sería regresar a Honduras?
No.
No.
Okay. And why not?
¿Y por qué no?
Porque no, a mí me da miedo que la vayan que las pandillas o las maras vayan a inducirla a ella a que agarren otros caminos que no quiero.
Well, I'm afraid that if she goes back, the drug gangs there. The gangs will force her to take a different path that I don't want her to follow.
Yeah. And is she in agreement with staying with you and no longer returning to Honduras?
Y
Sí, ella quiere vivir acá.
yes, she wants to live here.
And are you going to make sure then your sister and your niece both attend school regularly?
Y usted va a asegurarse que la hermanita y la sobrinita van siempre a la escuela?
Claro que sí.
Of course.
And you are committing yourself to also providing any medical care or ensure they receive any medical care they might require.
¿Y usted está comprometido también en que ellas reciban la atención médica que sea necesaria?
Sí.
Yes.
And is your wife in agreement with you having custody of both children?
¿Su esposa está de acuerdo con que ustedes tengan custodia de ambas niñas?
Sí.
Yes.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Es todo, señor juez.
So were these girls traveling together or did this happen in two different events?
No, they both witnessed the death, Your Honor.
Okay.
Estas niñas viajaban juntas, sí, ambas presenciaron la muerte.
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, same as the other case, I make the necessary SIJS findings that the children have been abandoned. The child has been abandoned and she cannot be returned to her parents in Honduras. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you,
Gracias.
Mr. Henson. Y'all
Yes.
are free to go.
Thank you, Judge. Ya terminamos, señor Cruz. Gracias.
Muchas gracias. Que tengan buen día.
Have a
All
good day.
right.
Bendiciones.
Buena
Blessings.
suerte. All right. FM 20007109, the matter of the marriage of 04 and 04. Appearances, please.
Honor, Aisha McCoy. I represent Arlene Offer. I'm the movant.
Your Honor, my name is Alejandro Lopez. I'm here for Ms. Cheryl Powell today. We represent Charles Offer.
And there's a companion case 22004220.
Yes, Your Honor.
So the 20 case is a divorce. The 22 case is a SAPSER. Is the AG here?
I'm not sure, Your Honor.
I'm not sure, Your Honor.
Did the AG get notice of today's hearing?
They were e-served with the notice.
Yes.
Has there been any discussion with the AG about what's going on?
I'm not sure about that, Your Honor.
Because now I'm remembering this case from yesterday. So in the 22 case, the mother was served and the returns on file. The father's citation's been issued several times, but he's never been served or appeared unless you consider his motion to consolidate his appearance, because Ms. Powell's representing him, right? Or the Carlson firm is, right, Mr. Lopez?
Yes, I believe Ms. Powell did an entry of appearance for Charles Offer on October 26, 2022.
Well, not in the FM 22 case.
That's right. That's right. That's why I believe Ms. Powell was trying to consolidate them.
Well, I guess I don't understand why the Attorney General just doesn't non-suit and make an appearance in the FM 20 case. That seems like that would be easier. Why do we need to consolidate when there's already the existing case? The divorce is the 20 case. That's the dominant case. I don't know why the AG didn't know about that case. It would be nice if they were here. Mr. Perkins, is that y'all's office by any chance?
Your Honor, I came in the middle of that and heard you discussing it. I was going to look it up and see what I could tell you real quick.
Thank you.
The
FM 22 case is, I don't know her, it's a Pflugerville case, 703.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Can you tell me what cause number we're talking about today?
We're talking about FM 22 004220.
I apologize. I was looking at Charles' list and I don't see that one on there. So let me search a different way.
Okay, sorry about that.
Zero zero 4220.
004220. FM, not AG.
Yes, sir.
Which is another question, is why the AG file an FM case, but that's just more out of curiosity.
On that question, my understanding is the clerk has asked us to stop using the AG cause numbers and everything goes into an FM cause number.
Oh, okay.
Most of our more recent filings, starting the middle of last year at least, are FM causes.
Okay. I didn't get that memo.
I might be misrepresenting, but that is my understanding.
Well, it's a reasonable answer.
Which names of the parties am I looking for, Your Honor?
You're looking for Charles Offor, OFFOR, and Arlen de Los Angeles Munoz.
Okay.
Judge, while we're waiting on that, I just wanted to let you know that Ms. Astran never joined us in the breakout room. I don't know if she was unable to do that or what happened, but she just didn't join.
Miss Astran, why did you not ever join that room?
I put join and it went blank, and then it sent me back to you to your courtroom.
All right.
There's still a join breakout room option at the bottom.
I don't care. I don't even care anymore. If she can't figure out
Your
how
Honor,
to join.
I found the case. It is. Oh, I apologize.
That's right. So, Mr. Cifuentes, we'll just work it out when we call the case. Sorry, Mr. Perkins. What do you see, Mr. Perkins?
Your Honor, I found the case with those cause numbers that are referenced. I did miss what your specific question for us was.
Well, so the divorce was filed back in 20, and then the AG filed the SAPSR in 22. In the SAPSR, the mom was served and there's a return on file. The dad never was served because there were several attempts to serve him, but it was never successful. And then Ms. Powell filed a motion to consolidate on his behalf on December 27th. My question is, I'm interested in what's the least amount of work for people. And so would you rather have what's easier, consolidate the 22 case and the 20 case, or non-suit the 22 case and make an appearance in the 20 case?
Your Honor, the 20 case never shows up on our system as a cause number. I'm guessing they were just unaware of it.
Well,
when they
I
filed.
know. But now that we know what works best for systems is what I'm interested in.
I believe it will be a non-suit. Since it's not my office, I don't want to make a promise on their behalf, but I will email them and suggest that they look into it that. So if you don't mind, can I get the 20 cause number again real quick?
20 cause number is 007109. I know that it's not that they filed it. I just want to know at this point to do again the least amount of trouble for people.
Yes, sir. I believe that the non-suit and then just proceeding in that other cause would be most efficient, but I'm going to.
All right.
One of
That's my thinking. So, but I wanted to defer to you. But in the 20,
I share the thinking.
And in the 20 case, Ms. McCoy, you want out and you've got your motion to withdraw on file since November.
Yes, Your Honor.
And there's nothing pending. Although the AG is trying to have a hearing, it doesn't look like. Is anybody aware of an actual date?
No, Your Honor.
Well, is it possible it's on the 4D docket today? Because
I was about to say, Your Honor, I see a notation about a court date today at 8:30 with a Zoom code different from yours.
Well, and I just noticed that myself. So, because the 22 case is not set in this court, but it's set in AG court. So, do you have access to that Zoom information?
Yes, sir.
Could you forward it to Mr. Lopez?
Yes.
And Ms. Hold on, make sure I get everybody right. And so, Ms. McCoy, does your client know that there's the hearing today in the FM 22 case?
No, Your Honor, I never received notice of this hearing. So I didn't even, this is the first time I'm hearing about it.
Well, I would suggest that Mr. Perkins send you that Zoom link and you pop in there, because the AG has been trying to do something with this case for ages, and it seems like you all should all get on the same page.
Your Honor, with your permission, I will chat the Zoom code to Mr. Lopez and Ms. McCoy right now.
All right. And Ms. McCoy's never appeared in the 22 case. So you don't really have to, well, I mean, you don't have to worry about it, but your client sure does.
Okay, Your Honor, Mr. Lopez and Ms. McCoy should both have that Zoom code in their chat messages.
All right. So, and where's your order for withdrawal on this, Ms. McCoy?
We had submitted it to Mr. Upshaw yesterday afternoon, but I'm happy to resend it.
No, I just need to know the name of who sent it and about the time.
Janice Berry sent it yesterday at 11 a.m.
Perfect. Thank you. And she had the Zoom notice for today.
She signed the order, Your Honor.
Got it. All right. You're out.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. So then, Mr. Lopez, I would pop over to that other Zoom and see what's up.
Okay, will do. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
And Mr. Perkins, are you going to email me the Zoom link?
No, he chat.
Yes, sir. I will email you the Zoom code again, and I'm also going to include some contact information for that office.
Okay, awesome.
All right. Okay. Thank
right.
you all. That piece is done. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Perkins, for the assist. On the Harrison matter, AG 162476.
Your Honor, I'm also the movement on the motion to withdraw. My client was provided notice of this hearing today.
And that's the one that has the order also wanting to be entered, right?
Yes, Your Honor. It's my understanding that Ms. Noel would like to get the order entered as well.
So this is one that was, it looks like it was an agreement announced on the record. Is that correct, Ms. Noel?
That is correct, Your Honor. And we have submitted the order to Attorney McCoy's office. I believe that she did not see any issues with any of the language in the order.
I haven't had a chance to consult with my client regarding the substance of the order, so I'm not opposed to the form, but I can't sign off on the substance of it. So,
well, lawyers sign off as to form, typically. Clients, when it's an agreement, sign off on substance and form. So before I will release you from the case, you need to sign off on this order as to form.
yes, Your Honor.
Unless you have an issue with the form.
No, Your Honor.
All right. So then it was actually Judge Morgan that heard this case, and it was another court reporter, so he wasn't sitting for me, but there's usually some instructions in the notes about what he said to do with the order because he's supposed to sign it. Do either of you remember anything he might have said about any judge signing it or send it to Lorraine and then he'd sign it? Does anybody remember that at all?
No, Your Honor. I think he said just submit it, if I remember correctly. And we're ready to submit it. And Attorney McCoy has it.
Well, do this because I'm sensitive. This is not about you all. I just don't want to irritate another judge. So why does Ms. McCoy sign off on that one as to form? Then Ms. Noel, send it to Ms. Noel. Ms. Noel, send it to us. We'll send it to Lorraine to get Judge Morgan to sign it. I think that's probably the best, most efficient way. Then y'all don't have to worry about sending it to Lorraine.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And then as soon as I get that, then I'll let Ms. McCoy. Well, then I'll let Ms. McCoy out. But once that order's signed, it's sort of over anyway, right?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. Anything else anybody want to say on this one?
Your Honor, I just want to be clear. Should we upload the order into the submission or send it to
No,
submission?
just email it to the tcaj2.submission email address. That'll be perfect.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all. Thanks for waiting. All right. Next case, FM 19-007909, the matter of the marriage of Crockett and Salinas. This is a motion for alternative service. Who's here on that?
Karen Bryson, Your Honor. I'm here for Mr. Demetrius Crockett. The issues that we've been having in this case is that we've attempted service. We've submitted our petitioner's exhibits.
I actually, let me cut through that. I read all that. Did you send an order? Is Lanisa maybe send me the order? No, that's the exhibits. Did you send an order yet?
So we should have already sent the order as well, along with the exhibits, but let me chat her to see.
Sure, I see the exhibits, but I don't. Oh, here it is. Wait. Well, there's an email yesterday at 1:20 that says here's the order, but I don't see the order. Well, hold on, maybe it's earlier than that. There it is. All right. Sorry, there's several emails in this. All right. So didn't we I thought the motion said the person, you knew where the person lived, they just weren't ever there.
So the Mr. Juan Salinas, who's the opposing party, he's repeatedly said in email that he's not going to reveal his address to us, which is why we're asking to serve him via email. And then there's also been, since he's saying that the email address that we're using is incorrect, but he's emailing us back using that email address, and has not provided any other means of communication, which is why we submitted one of our exhibits as an email correspondence with him, just to confirm that he is using that email address.
Hold on a second. I pulled up the wrong case. One moment. So this address on Cottage Promenade Court, that's not a good address, and you know that, or you've, you know, it was his address, but it's not anymore. Is that the deal?
So yeah, so we've attempted service there. We've been told by Mr. Salinas that he will not reveal his.
Well, I know, but that's a different question. What? Hold on. Let me look at this. Let me look at the affidavit. All right. 3 vehicles parked near or at, but none were registered to him. The house is owned by the Garcias and it's a homestead. Do you know, and you don't have to know, but do you know if the Garcias were relatives of his?
We do not believe that they're of any familial relation to him.
Okay. All right. And that's fair enough. And there's no kids, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. This will be fine. I think technically, and you could look at the, and is there any property to speak of? It's not a short, it's like only a 2 or 3 year marriage, wasn't it?
Yeah, so there is property based on a settlement claim, and there's been money that has been dispersed and lost.
To her or to him?
So it's a same-sex marriage.
Oh, sorry, I didn't click on that. Sorry.
No, and so it has been released to both parties, and then some of that money has since gone missing. So there may be.
So there may be some actual litigation. Okay. All right. Still, though, I will approve the order to do it just by email. Now, you know that the constable still has to do that service, right?
Oh, okay. I did not know that. That is not how it works here. Okay, so would we be able to just send a copy and have the constable serve that via email?
Right. Where are you?
I'm located in Dallas.
So Constable 5 is the constable associated with the courthouse. And so that's who normally does this. Be aware, I just learned this the other day, that if the constable sends these by email and they do it and they ask for a read receipt or whatever that is, and if the respondent doesn't click back on that so that they, hit that, then they won't give you an affidavit that says that service was affected. And I just literally learned that 2 or 3 days ago, and I'm going to talk to the other AJs about it, because I'm not sure that that's actually what the orders say. The orders don't say the guy has to read it. It just says that you have to serve him by, if it doesn't kick back, then we've always assumed that, then they got it, even if they didn't send you a read receipt. So I'm just telling you this so that it's not a surprise to you if he doesn't cooperate by hitting that keystroke. Because it was a surprise to me. And I imagine it will be to other lawyers too, as we talk about it. So just know that.
Okay.
And in the other case, it was a default. In another case, they didn't have kids, and so it was not a big issue. Depending on how big your property thing is, someone might care. I don't, I'm not going to prejudge that, but anyway, so I'll sign the order and then get with the Constable 5 to see about doing it, and you should be good to go.
Perfect, Your Honor. And if the constable's office is not able to produce an affidavit, will we have problems with service for anything in the future regarding if we would like to serve it via email?
Well, so what they do, so that there is and I now I can't remember the case, and I wish I'd written it down. But they do I think it's sworn to, but it's not a return. It's an affidavit. Okay. Charles, help remind me to look for that later, because I do need to talk to the other associate judges about that tomorrow. But let's just take it one step at a time. Let's do it and see if I mean, he could click received and into story. And just to be clear, Juan is a male or a female?
A male.
All right, because in the order it says her email address. So I'll correct that. Don't worry about that.
Thank you. And I've not, and I don't want to place a gender on Juan Salinas. I have not spoken to this person on the phone. My understanding is that this is a same-sex marriage, and I'm not sure how they.
And your client's male.
My client identifies as male. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, Juan sounds. Well, I mean, who knows? In 2023, but that's just what caught my eye, is why I was saying him, her. So, not paying attention, but like I should have. Okay. Anyway, I'm probably not the first person I misgendered today. Okay. All right.
Thank you. May I be dismissed, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Good to see you, and maybe see you in the future.
Thank you.
All right. Villalpando and Astran, B1AG 18001663. Appearances, please.
Yes.
Let's see. Jesus Cifuentes representing the movement petitioner, Adam Villalpando.
William Perkins for the Office of the Attorney General, Your Honor.
And Miss Astran, are you still here? Say your name, please.
Yes, Your Honor, Melissa Astran.
And Mr. Cifuentes, your client, Mr. Villalpando's here?
He is present by Zoom, Your Honor.
All right. And so I didn't look, I know there's a problem with the order. What was the problem that y'all were trying to correct?
So the problem was, Judge, that the order did not state the definitive dates on when to stop and start the child support so that Mr. Villalpando would get the professional credits and refunds he had asked for. We have put those dates in there. And we think that fixes the order. And
correct. I apologize, Mr. Cifuentes. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's essentially it.
Yes, Your Honor. There are 2 children, one with each parent, and so the previous ruling that we are trying to craft the order for gave some credits to Mr. Villalpando. It wasn't clear how they should be entered on our system, so I've been working with Mr. Cifuentes for a long while about getting it cleared up and getting an order we can enter on our system. There was a second issue about cash medical support being ordered while Mr. Villalpando was ordered to provide health insurance. Because children are different places, it was cleared up a little bit that he is providing private insurance for one, there's government health insurance for another, and there's cash medical support ordered for that child.
And is he paying her, is he paying this? So the cash, he has private insurance, she has a state plan.
Correct, Your Honor.
And so he's paying the state for that child and covering his child, the other child on his private plan.
Yes, sir.
I wonder why he didn't just cover both kids.
Your Honor, that was part of an earlier hearing I was not at. It's a thing I have seen before in cases where children just have different needs, different things are available.
Okay, because it just, yeah, okay. But not a big issue, just, it's usually one or five costs the same amount of money. So it's just catches my eye. All right. And so this is a way back in 21 hearing, again, before the visiting judge, Judge Burgess. Hold on,
That's correct.
Yeah, Judge Burgess did it in July of 21. This order finally got signed on April 11th of 22. Doesn't say whether there was a hearing or it was just sent to him. It looks like maybe it was just sent to him.
There was a hearing, Your Honor, but short hearing because
that's fine. I'm just trying to have it all straight in my little head. All right, but Miss Estron was not at the 21 hearing, correct?
That's correct.
And that was in the AG court? No, it was before Judge Burgess, but the AG was here.
Correct.
And so, Miss Estron, are you saying you didn't get notice of that hearing? Do you have a complaint about that?
I had AT&T service, and that's when that storm was here. So 150 of us residents were affected with our Wi-Fi service. So it was working, but it wasn't catching like good enough service. So I called and I actually talked to the judge because I was, it kept servicing. So my mother was here at the time. I was able to call on her phone and get put on hold until after the court was done. And so that made it like a no-show, like he didn't know what was going on. And I had to provide some proof, or he just said it was all in his favor because, they thought that I wasn't trying to log in or anything.
Well, his note doesn't say anything about difficulties with you logging on or that he talked to you. It just says that you weren't there.
I did talk to him. He was in his office. They had me on hold, and then he got on the phone and we talked, and he just said that he'd already put it all in his favor because I couldn't get in there ahead of time.
All right. And so now, Mr. Perkins and Mr. Cifuentes, you think that this order you're submitting today fixes all the little problems that you have?
We do. I do, Your Honor. Yes. We both.
And does it end up with an arrear? Does it affect an arrearage? Does he owe her any money? What's the upshot of all this?
Well, so the withholding. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Perkins, if you prefer.
Yes, Your Honor. We've put several holds on the case while we were getting it cleaned up. My understanding is that there may be some amount of money coming back to Mr. Villalpando, but because there was a period of time where the judge ordered child support was not due for either child to reflect some credits that were due, that would have ended in August of last year. So starting in August of last year, he pays a reduced child support amount of $400 per month until the older child, who's the child that lives with him, emancipates. Then it steps up to a guideline amount for the remaining child who lives with Ms. Astron.
And so, Ms. Astron, are you receiving some child support now, or is all that
no
captured right now, Mr. Perkins?
No, I haven't received it in a year and like 5 months.
Okay, so it's all being held, and once this all, in theory, if the computer works correctly, once this is signed and entered, then everything is going to be released and money's going to flow where it needs to flow, and she could get a big check if there's been something it sounds like there's several payments that are they're being withheld, and so she's going to get a lump sum, probably, right?
Yes, sir. That's my understanding.
Right.
All right. And any idea of the size of that?
I can do some investigating real quick.
If it doesn't take more than 30 seconds, if it's more than that, don't bother. I'm just asking.
It would be like $400 for 6 months, approximately.
That she'll get. That she'll get.
Yes.
All right. So Miss, and this is not a perfect number, Miss Astron, but once this is signed and processed, then you should get a couple $1,000s. It sounds like.
Okay. And then we also have another daughter, which is still in school. And for some reason, she's not on there anymore, which she should have been on there. And I called the attorney generals, sent in her school that she's still enrolled in school, even because it says up to the year, or she has to be in school still. So I
well, which child is that?
Alicia Villapando.
Is that his?
Yes,
so
I think she had been I think she had been emancipated and removed from child support by AG court order.
So Alicia was born in 2002. So, well, she's 20 now, right?
She's still in school. She failed some grades, and so it put her behind. And so they just thought being 18 excluded her from there. But I guess when going to court or whatever, he excluded her, which I tried to tell attorney generals and gave them a letterhead saying that she had been in school.
So, Mr. Cifuentes, I think you said that there's an AG order that addresses that. I don't see an order that would. I only see the 2018 order establishing, and then the 21 signed in 22 order that modified it. Does this order talk about Alicia?
I believe one of the orders, Judge, I don't have them in front of me, but this case dealt only with Emily and Adam Ray, who were the only two children left not emancipated, is my understanding from previous AG.
Okay, so you just told me that there was an order that dealt with Alicia.
There's an order that deals with both the two older children.
That's not what you said.
Well, as far as information I have is that she's emancipated.
Okay, that's not the question. That's not the issue. A minute ago, you said there was an AG order that dealt with Alicia, and there doesn't seem to be. If you're wrong, and that's fine. But you said there was something. I'm looking for it. I don't see it.
Yes, I thought I had seen it.
Well, okay, that's fine. And in 21, when you did this, she would have been 18 on her way. Her birthday's in August, maybe?
Yes, she'll be graduating this year.
So in July of 21, she was 18, turning 19 in August, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, there's a theoretical question, Mr. Perkins. What if y'all have wrongfully left Alicia off?
Well, Judge, can I say something?
Well, Your Honor,
well,
Mr.
no,
let me respond
in a
first
minute.
to the judge.
In a minute, you can. I'm just asking a process question
yes,
first.
Okay, sorry.
If we were wrong, and if Miss Astron had proof that this child was in a secondary school program, whatever that language is, working on her high school decree, then what?
There may be some options as to going back to restart support if that is appropriate, but there was no evidence before the court about that at that point. And don't believe that that should be any grounds for.
Well, I'm trying to problem solve for the future.
Yes, sir.
We're not pretending. This order today is supposed to take care of some problems, but yet I'm hearing potentially another problem. And I just want to make sure everybody leaves here knowing what they can do or should do if there's a problem. Now, Ms. Astron, a child who's 20 in high school is on her way to 21 is unusual. What school is she attending?
She's Del Valley Opportunity Center. It's an
alternate high school attached to Del Valley.
Yes.
And has she been there continuously since she was 18?
Yes.
Mr. Villapando, you're shaking your head. What do you say about that?
She was out of school, Your Honor, for 1 year. She did not go to school for 1 year. She just started going this year.
And when was that 1 year period?
When she, I want to say when she was after 18 years old. When she, after between 18 to 19, I can't really remember, but I know she'd been off for a year.
Your Honor, he wouldn't know that, Your Honor, because he doesn't as a father hasn't been there for her and has kind of neglected her in some kind of way. So he can't really give you some kind of dates because I myself have reached out to him about Alicia and
so here's the deal, Miss Astron. Either she was in school or she wasn't. And stop. Please don't interrupt me. Either there's a school record showing she's been continuously enrolled or there's not. If there's a gap, if she was 18 and quit attending school and then came back when she changed her mind and at 19 went back, that's one set of circumstances. And I don't know that you're going to get any relief for Alicia if that's the facts, because I don't think you can, once a child emancipates, you can't spring back and pull them back in. I just don't, I don't know for certain, but I've never heard of that being done. If, however, you have records from Del Valle showing that she's been continuously enrolled all this time, then you need to get a copy of those and you need to get with the AG's office and see if there's something to be done about this.
I have sent them to the AG's office.
Okay. All right. I'm just telling you, this is how you move forward. I can't solve this problem today. I can just point you all in the direction that might fix it. Mr. Perkins, were you going to say something?
Yes, Your Honor. I was just going to clarify a letter indicating that she was enrolled full-time as a student pursuing a high school degree and not. We've had issues with opportunity campuses like that before where people think they're taking 1 or 2 classes. So maybe that counts, maybe it doesn't. There are some issues with that. So if it's a letter saying she's full-time a student, that is a lot different than some of the other things we get into.
But you don't have that access to that at this moment.
No,
all right.
Sir.
So all I can do, Ms. Astron, is point you to that direction. I would get her in her enrollment records. I would go to Del Valle. I would get the entire record for the last 4 years and have them do a business records affidavit on that and then submit that to the AG and see if something can be done. I'm not saying anything can be, but that's your path forward if you want to try to do something about it.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any questions about that?
No.
All right. Well, then I'm going to sign today's order, and then if something comes up with the other thing, then so be it. All right.
Yes, sir.
Anything else anybody needs today? All right. Thank you for being patient. Good to see everybody.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot that little part. Y'all are free to go.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right. Next up is Ruiz Lozano and De Jesus Ramirez. D1FM 21007367 in the matter of the marriage of Elena Ruiz Lozano and Alberto de Jesus Ramirez in the interest of Alexander, a child. Who's here on that?
Claudia Velasquez, Your Honor, for the respondent, and Mr. Mason is also here for the petitioner. We have.
You signed off on an order now?
Yes, the order has been submitted. We just wanted to make sure that you received it before we were able to go. We submitted it early this morning and passed the hearing early this morning on TCCCO.
And hold on, what does my note say? This is the one that had a mediated settlement agreement, so no one's proved up the divorce. Your clients aren't here. You've just got the affidavit to prove it up, right?
Yes, sir. It was approved this morning at 8:49 a.m. I filed it yesterday.
Yeah, that's fine. And anything funky in here that's going to get us on the 6 o'clock news? Standard possession order is there. Child support is there. All right. Looks all good. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
No, Judge.
Someone's going to do some real estate documents.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Don't forget that little piece. All right.
Thank you.
I will approve it. Thank you for waiting. We'll see y'all later.
Excuse, Judge.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right. The white matter, D1FM 21005388. Appearance, please.
Cassandra Noel for the petitioner, John White.
And you sent the order.
Yes, I believe my paralegal uploaded it or emailed it to the submission email.
Don't use the upload word. We don't like that word. That goes to a bad place if you upload it. All right. I'll find it. And if we don't find it, we'll call you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you for your patience. Good to see you.
Thanks. Good to see you too. Have a great day.
All right. Take care. All right. Bethard or Bethard?
It's B3rd, Your Honor.
Say it again.
B3rd.
B3rd. All right. D1FM 13003240 in the interest of the B3rd children. Appearances, please.
Stephanie Preston, representing Perry and B3rd here on a motion for withdrawal. Mr. Kennedy, who represents Patrick B3rd, has signed off on the order. Miss B3rd has been notified and sent the Zoom link. I did not anticipate her to attend today. She's not here. And the order was sent to the court on Monday afternoon, I think at about 4 o'clock.
All right. And nothing's pending.
Yes, sir.
Although this case has been pending for, well, it seems like they're never really out of litigation.
Correct.
I was going to say, if you just wait another couple of years, that other child will age out too.
Well, the issue is actually that the one child has severe physical disabilities. So
I'm sorry. Well, the one that just turned 18 in the fall is going to need continuing ongoing support.
That's correct. He's got child support right now that's indefinite.
Okay. All right. And then she's got a couple more years to go. She's probably a sophomore, maybe.
Yeah, that's correct.
All right. And so, Miss Douglas, what are y'all going to do to move this to completion?
Oh, Miss Douglas is not.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the other party. Sorry. Oh, well, maybe she has some free time. She can help out on that case.
Yeah, she could take over for me.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Well, Jake's not here to talk about it, I guess. So, all right. Well, I mean, Nathan's not here.
Correct.
All right. Well, all right. I'll sign it and you can go.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Last but not least, we've got the Douglases. This is D1FM 22002351 in the matter of the marriage of Christiana Douglas and Ryan Douglas in the interest of Wolf Douglas, a child. Each of you say your name for the record, please, starting with Ms. Douglas.
Yes. Christiana Douglas, Your Honor, petitioner.
Ryan Douglas.
Each of you raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm testimony you're going to give is truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did either of you happen to, I know that, so this is a case that actually it was last fall in September, Judge De La Yada got it on submission and didn't like a couple things and said y'all need to set it. And so the papers that you sent him, did anybody send those to me today?
Yes, Your Honor. I emailed the final decree as an attachment.
And when did you do that?
I believe Tuesday.
Okay, let me find that. That's not you. That's not you. There you are. Christiana. All right, let's look at this and see what caught his attention. His note says, so he had a question of why Miss Douglas was, there's a presumption that y'all should be joint managing conservators, and apparently your decree has Miss Douglas being sole managing conservator. And then it says, and so that's unusual. And then what they mean regarding written consent with no geographical restriction, he says the decree doesn't make sense. Additionally, father's child support and cash medical support are set to begin on date prior to rendition of the order, which the court can't do, which I'm not sure is entirely true, but it's a mess when you start going back in time. So let's look at these different things and see what he's talking about. And let me just ask Ms. Douglas some questions. Ma'am, prior to filing this action, had you lived in Travis County, Texas for at least 6 months?
Yes.
Has this marriage become insupportable because of conflict or discord between you and Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Has that ruined the marriage?
Yes.
Any reasonable hope of reconciliation?
No, Your Honor.
Y'all have one child born to y'all during this marriage or adopted, that being Wolf, born back in 2017?
Yes, that's correct.
Any other children born to or adopted by you during the marriage?
No.
Are you pregnant today?
No.
All right. Any difference in those answers, Mr. Douglas?
No, sir.
All right. That's standard. That's standard.
Your Honor, we put together a parenting plan as a supplement, as an exhibit, and I just wanted to bring awareness to that.
Okay, I'm just going to plow through this
Okay.
page by page to make, because if you have a parenting plan, that makes it even more curious why you checked sole managing and not joint. Because if you're joint, well, anyway, let me just get a survey of this so that I can be more on point. Now, you've got child support being $1,500 a month starting back in August. Has Mr. Douglas been giving you that money for the last 5 months?
Not in the formal sense.
Well, what does that mean?
So he has been supporting us, but not in the order.
Well, in a satisfactory way.
Yes, in a satisfactory.
So that when we're done, then we need
Yes.
to start that child support on the 1st of February, perhaps, so it's clear.
Exactly. Yes, that's good.
And did anybody talk to y'all about the guidelines and what that number should be? Or did y'all just come up with that number?
We followed the guidelines on the Texas Family Law library.
Did you use like a little calculator program to see if that number's correct?
Yes.
All right. Good enough. And Any medical issues with that child that would have this extend past his 18th birthday or any of that?
No, Your Honor.
You've got a suspension of the wage order, which is sort of okay, but you understand that you'll need to pay that money through the SDU in San Antonio going forward, Mr. Douglas?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And there's forms that you're supposed to fill out to start that. Are you familiar with those forms?
I'm not, no.
Charles, would you email them whatever we call that setup form now? Or did you send you send that by any chance, Ms. Douglas? Let me look what you sent. No, just the exhibit list. Okay. All right.
I'll send them the BVS and the record of support forms.
Perfect. There's two forms that you need to fill out. One sets up the account with the people who collect that and disperse it, and the other is a reporting form to the state that they keep records of all this kind of stuff. And then you've got insurance through Ms. Douglas's employment.
Yes, that's
And
correct.
he's going to reimburse you $170 a month for that.
Yes, sir.
And again, change that date to February 1st.
Yes.
Right? All right.
Is that what we do and resubmit on the form?
Well, I'm not sure you're going to resubmit. I'm going to try to salvage this and not make anybody resubmit. And if I have to make a couple little changes, that's not a big deal. It's not a problem at all. There's a little bit for dental insurance too. Good. Oh, wait, Brooklyn. You're in Brooklyn?
Yes.
Well, here's an important question. Yankees or Mets?
Don't really follow baseball. Yankees, I guess.
No, wrong answer.
Wrong answer.
Wrong answer. Now we can't. I'm sorry.
Get my mouth closed.
I can't deal with you now. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
I'm a Red Sox. Well, you're both in Brooklyn. You're both in Brooklyn? Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. But you were here when you started it.
Yes.
All right.
That's correct.
And there's not really any property divide. Y'all have divided up whatever you've got between you two. Any cars in both names?
No, sir.
Any credit cards in both names?
No.
This Fidelity account is just in your name?
Yes, correct.
Nobody needs to do any documents to do any of that. All right. Good. You got the standard possession order. So you said that you had a parenting plan attached. I see a standard possession order. Is that what you're referring to as the parenting plan?
That was no, sir. There was an original with the original submission. We had the standard possession as what we would default if we could not agree.
Well, which is how that document starts off. Let me get to the top of it. The top of that standard possession order says, under paragraph 2, mutual agreement, the court orders that parent A and parent B shall have possession of the children at any and all times mutually agreed to in advance, and failing agreement, then that's set out in this order. So that's the thing that says, toss it in a drawer, whatever you all work out and are happy with, you're happy, we don't care, as long as everybody's happy. And then if you're not happy, then you've got this default, which all the boxes look checked, and it doesn't look like there's any gaps in that. Okay, but when you first submitted, was there something else called a parenting plan that I'm not seeing, or this is it?
No, that was it. So when we submitted, it was just the final decree with the standard possession. When it got kicked back, we felt maybe we didn't know why it was kicked back, but we figured it was because we were requesting sole, and that was perhaps unusual. So then we built the parenting plan, but if it's simple enough, we don't need
Well, I know, but the parenting plan is something that I'm not seeing. It's yet a different document.
In the exhibit box.
Oh, in the exhibit box. Got it. All right, let me go there. And Charles, are there any standbys?
Jacob is assigning a standby number 3.
We'll take a break after this. Why don't we tell them to appear at 11:15?
Okay.
Well, let me see this parenting agreement. All right, so I see that. I'm reading it. I think what I would then do is attach it to your decree, so it's part of that. And then let me go back to the decree and look at something. Well, so I see why it caused attention, and since y'all are doing it yourself, then there's probably a little bit of we get a little paternalistic and wanting to make sure that people know what they're doing. The primary thing is that in Texas, we presume that kids should be close to both parents geographically, and that's our go-to position. Obviously, not just 2023, but we're a mobile society. People move. Y'all are young. Who knows if you're going to remarry, have new partners, have job opportunities elsewhere. There's lots that nobody knows. And in Texas, the default is we're going to keep you relatively close. Usually by county, and something like Travis, where we are in Austin. For a long time we did Travis and contiguous counties, but then it was like, well, you could live in Williamson and Hayes County, and that would make possession just a nightmare if you remember traveling I-35. And so then it got more to just Travis County, and then with housing prices, it was kind of grew again because it's so expensive to live. So we worry about stuff like that. Are you all are you in Brooklyn for a while? What is your and again, it can change at any time, but you think you're going to be there for a good while?
Yes, the intention that we've talked about is this is the long-term place we are going to live, and we are both committed to keeping each other within really ideally walking distance to one another, no matter where we are.
Okay. So, and so this language, as long as written consent has been given by Ryan, makes it a little bit clunky in legal terms. I'm not sure that's a legal term, but it's a little clunky, but I believe I understand it. And the problem with levels of clarity is that if it's not clear, people can end up in court which we're trying to avoid. It doesn't sound like that's really a problem, because I would read it as, even though it says you're unlimited, you're really not unlimited. You're limited because he has to give you consent to move. And, it'd be like, for up there, well, you could move, a move from Brooklyn to Queens wouldn't be that big a deal, but Brooklyn to, Pennsylvania would be a big thing. So, so I think it's fairly clear. I think I'm okay with it. I'm going to change the dates to start February. That's the main thing I need to do. And then, I'll attach the parenting. I've learned how to do the Adobe thing, and I can attach that parenting plan to your final decree, and I'll make a notation somewhere in the decree that there's a parenting plan attached, and I'll sign it, and you'll be good to go. Mr. Douglas, I've talked mostly, Ms. Douglas, do you have any questions, concerns? Have you understood all this?
Yeah, that all sounds accurate. That all sounds good.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you for being patient and sitting through all morning. But it looks fine, and we'll have you done. And just get these. I won't send the decree for processing until you send back these forms. And they ask for some. I know that the BVS form asks for your Social Security number. In 2023, people are properly hesitant to throw that out there. It is a state form. Both of these forms are state forms, and the public does not have access to it. However, if you feel goosey about that, do what most people do, which is XXX, and put the last 3 digits, and that will satisfy that without having your whole number out there for, whatever state person might see it. With that, unless y'all have any questions, you're free to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
All right. Good luck, everybody. And go Red Sox. All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right. We'll be in recess. All right, let's come on back in. Some people.
I'm not seeing my client, Your Honor, but
Yeah, she's joining.
okay.
She's got two devices. See what happens. Or maybe she was trying to join twice. I don't know. All right, there she is. All right, Mr. Izzo.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sir, you've just testified regarding a whole litany of things that you're concerned about regarding both my client and her care of your daughter, as well as a number of things that happened a year or more ago. I'm kind of curious, why did you agree to non-suit the prior case? Why not go through with it and try to get control of things with your daughter and you be the primary custodian then?
Because Micah assured me she was going to go to counseling and AA. Never happened.
Okay. And I'm kind of curious then, why didn't you file this case? All these things are happening, yet my client filed. You did not.
I tried to make it work. I was going to counseling and I was going to AA.
So you were worried really about her being blackout drunk and doing all these things, and your daughter's having these major problems, but you didn't bother filing with a court. Is that
my
correct?
mom was.
Well, sir, it's a yes or no question. You did not file
Yes.
this thing, did you?
Well, no, the question was, why didn't you? And so you need to give him time to explain.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. So the reason I did not is my mom was a preacher, God rest her soul, and my mom did not believe in divorce. So I tried to give it every opportunity till it got to the breaking point. Yes, sir.
I'm also kind of curious, sir, then why, after you requested an emergency temporary restraining order, set a hearing, and you didn't show up for your own hearing? Why was that, sir?
I didn't know about the hearing. I had no idea.
Okay, so you didn't coordinate your own filings and requests with your own attorney?
My attorney had
maybe that question is better directed to Ms. Hogan, Mr.
Yeah.
Gizzo.
Well, I'll move on, sir.
Okay.
Because the docket notes say that Ms. Hogan was at a funeral.
Yeah, I didn't know about it.
Your Honor,
I'm just telling you. I'm
Yeah.
just telling you what the docket notes say.
I see. Okay, Your Honor. Sir, what evidence do you have to present to this court today regarding any criminal activity on the part of your daughter, other than you just saying that you've heard this?
Criminal activity of my daughter?
Yeah, you've testified about, you've heard from someone about some criminal activity at the school with your daughter.
A detective that called me.
No, sir, I'm asking, do you have any evidence today?
That is the answer to your question, Mr. Izzo.
Okay. And
He
sir,
is under oath, and he has said under oath that this officer contacted him and told him that situation.
and my follow-up to that, sir, is why did you not contact my client? We've got all these multiple texts that we even put in showing that you two were working together on a number of things, dental visits and all kinds of stuff. Why isn't there any contact from you to my client about this serious situation?
Great question. I believe, I don't know if I can say this or not, but I believe your client hacked me and had all my electronic devices destroyed, which I have no evidence of anything or of my life right now because of my ex-wife. Personally, I don't know if that counts, but that's why I don't have anything. New phone.
So now you're adding to the evidence that now she's destroyed your electronic devices.
Hackers have
So
destroyed my.
that is a yes.
Hey.
Sir.
This is question and answer. Do not interrupt each other. Wait for each other to finish.
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
Re-ask the question.
Sir, so you're now claiming that my client, additional to the other things you've testified about, has destroyed your electronic devices.
Yes, sir. I think she did it when we met and hung out on the first.
Sir, it's just a yes or no.
Yes.
Yes.
So the word you would be looking for is objection non-responsive.
Thank you, Your Honor. I will do that. Sir, I'm kind of curious why a number of these allegations that you've made today were not on your affidavit. Why is that?
I don't know what an affidavit is. I'm sorry.
Well, sir, when you filed this, you filed an affidavit, which actually we went through a lengthy process during my questioning of my client about the things you accused her of. There's literally probably, I've written down about 6 things you've brought up today that weren't even in your affidavit to the court. I'm curious why all of those were left out.
Well, I'm just telling you the truth. I don't know what to put in an affidavit. You ask questions and I'm telling you the truth and telling you the answers.
Okay, sir, you've just testified that you didn't burn your daughter's pictures. I'm kind of curious. You saw the texts that were put in between you and my client. There was no objection from your attorney. Those were texts between the two of you, correct?
Yeah, they were texts, yes.
Okay, and I'm kind of curious, sir. You did hear from my client saying, no, Brandon, that's not true. I'm entitled to my pictures of my daughter when she was a baby. Did she not say that in the text?
The answer is yes.
And did she not also say, or did you not also say that you were going to burn them one picture at a time and that you were excited?
Yes, I did say
okay.
That.
And did she not then say specifically, let's see, why do that to your daughter? She's going to want those pictures when she's older?
She did say that, yes.
Okay. And did she not say, and did you not then reply, maybe, maybe not, who knows and who cares?
I guess that's what I said.
And didn't my client respond, please, please don't do that. I'm begging you.
Well, so I didn't do it.
And sir, indeed, didn't you then, although the court did not want us to put it in, did you not send her a video of you throwing a picture onto the fire?
Hold on, stop.
Yes.
Mr. Jones, do not interrupt him while he is asking a question.
Yes, Your Honor.
I apologize.
Make sure he has finished talking before you respond.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll rephrase.
Maybe we need to look at that video now. Mr. Izzo.
Okay. Let me try and get it here.
Your Honor, if it helps, I would be okay with the court just directly viewing it. It's in box. I've seen it and my client has seen it.
What's the exhibit number?
It is Petitioner's Exhibit 8.
It's our exhibit number 8 in the box.
Yeah, that's what she just said.
Yeah. And let's hope the audio plays with this too.
You're trying to bring it up now, Mr. Izzo?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, and that's a picture of what?
That's a picture of me, Your Honor. And my Bonnie, it's not a picture of my daughter.
Well, but
Picture of myself holding me as a baby. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You're the baby or you're the adult?
I'm the baby, Your Honor. It's just an old picture that I had that I did that just to be mean to Micah. I was doing it spitefully. But I didn't burn any pictures, Your Honor. Have them all.
Stop. And who's holding you?
That would be Paul, my brother that passed away, his mom. So my best friend's mom, like my stepmom.
And then what's the exhibit number? So you can all you can hear on this, and it's typical when you're playing videos from box that we don't hear the audio. I don't understand that technology, but that's pretty normal. I could hear when I played it, and you hear him giggling a little bit and then saying, "Burn, baby, burn," or something like that. Now, what was the exhibit number with the texts about where she's pleading not to burn?
Petitioner 7, Your Honor.
Thank you. let me just take a pause and look at that again. And this is January 14th of this year. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And was this the one, Miss Hogan, you were asking about optional completeness?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
And do we have the before you need to take accountability line? Do we have that on his any place to look at?
We do not, because whatever happened to his electronics, he no longer has any text messages.
Okay. All right. So there is a notice to both people that nobody is to delete anything from any device going forward. And perhaps upon further inspection of Miss Jones's phone, maybe the previous texts are there on her phone and can be obtained for looking at later. So this is actually repeating. Well, Mr. Jones, when do you say that she took possession of those photos?
Possession of the photos?
Well, right. You said that she took all the photos at some point in the past.
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor. I gave her to her. Me and her have kept in lines of communication.
I know, but when did she actually? She has taken some things from the house, correct?
Many times, yes, sir.
All right. And so when do you think she took the actual paper photos?
I've brought them over. She's taken them from the house.
I know, but when did that occur?
November, October.
All right, but do you acknowledge that from the tenor of the text, it sounds like you still have some photos?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
The ones in the frame.
I'm sorry, what?
The ones that are in the frames, Your Honor. There's some that are in frames. I have like 5 pictures of my daughter that are in frames, Your Honor. Like picture frames.
Yeah, no, I understand. And then you also have some media on some kind of digital hard drive of some kind or storage thing, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And how many photos do you think is in that storage?
I mean, lots of them. Basically her whole life is on there, and my life and Micah's life is on there.
Well, and is that? This child is born of an age where I'm not sure a lot of people have. I'm not sure how much people print photographs the last 10, 15 years.
Not me.
Is this a good? How was this device created? Is it just a backup of something, or
yes,
did you meaningfully transfer a bunch of stuff to something? Tell me about that.
Yes, Your Honor. It was just a backup. It was just so that when we take pictures with the camera, we put them on this hard drive and put it in the safe. It's basically our whole lives. But we only printed out a couple of pictures, and I did not burn any of the pictures we printed out. No matter how bad I was, I didn't take them out of the picture frames and burn them. I just found one that was on the desk that was in the junk pile that I was just throwing away, and I was being ugly.
No, okay. All right. Mr. Izzo, you're muted. Still muted.
Okay. Just a quickie on this one before we move on, sir. Indeed, you agreed that text string took place January 14th, just about a week and a half ago, yes?
Yes, sir.
And you just said you just gave her the pictures or a bunch of the pictures in October, November, but that last thing my client said was, I don't have any baby pictures. Please don't take that away from me. Did she not say that to you in the text?
I don't know. I didn't read the text. I just did it to piss her off.
Would you
well, hold on. Let's stop. Y'all are arguing, and I don't want you to do that.
Yes,
Let me look at P7 again.
And Your Honor, it's right before the picture, the photograph of the fire.
Yes, she says, please don't do that. I'm begging you. I don't have any baby pictures. Please don't take that away from me.
And then heard him snicker. as he burned.
Absolutely.
Objection to the sidebar, Your Honor.
Okay, I will move on.
Sustained.
I will withdraw my sidebar. I apologize. Sir, I'm curious, with all of these text strings, one of the things that you did was apologize to my client for your behavior. Is that not correct?
Yes, sir, I did.
That your marriage was in this situation because of your acts, correct?
No, it wasn't, but I did apologize.
No, I mean,
That's
that was what you apologized. You
No,
implied.
Okay, stop. You all just can't help yourselves.
You're right.
Sorry, Your Honor.
All right. Sir, why I'm kind of curious, did you tell my client that you were going to leave Texas?
I had a job opportunity and I declined it to stay with my daughter.
Well, why did you tell her that then?
Because it was the truth.
I see. And why did you tell her then she could take Cammie in the text too?
Because if I took the job, I would be working and she could have, but I didn't take the job.
Wasn't that in a different text that you told her that?
You tell me.
Oh, okay. Sir, you talk about in your testimony that she was breaking into your home. If she has moved out, she's moved in and out on a couple of times during this marriage, correct?
Correct.
Great. And that's still her home, is it not?
It's not.
Oh, I see. So that marital residence you're
Mr.
claiming.
Mr. Izzo.
Yes.
I'm sorry. If they are living in separate residences, it is not okay with me that she thinks she can just traipse over to that house whenever she wants because her name's on the title. That is not okay.
And Your Honor, her name is not on the title. Yes, sir.
I was just going to ask him, Your Honor, if he's claiming that as his sole and separate property. So I'd have.
Well, that's a different question.
Yeah. Well, that was.
I'm just trying to make clear that she even though they broke up and made up, that when you're living separately, it is not okay for the other party that lives someplace else to come back to the jointly held, or I don't care how it's whatever the marital house was, whoever's name was on it, that person cannot just come and go as they please. You're not going to make any points with me suggesting that she could do that because it had been her house.
Where I was going with that, Your Honor, was because he said it was his house. I was trying to find out if he's going to claim that that's his sole and separate property.
Well, that's a different question, not terribly relevant for today.
That's where I was going. I apologize. Okay. Now, as far as it's concerned, again, sir, we've all of a sudden today heard about some kind of an affair. Why was that not in your affidavit?
It should have been in the affidavit.
And let's see.
Well, an affair is not necessarily a reason why someone gets a TRO to get a kid.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. I'm kind of curious, sir, why you put some of her things out on the lawn.
Because I asked her to leave on the beginning of the month. I told her that she needs to leave if she's going to continue the affair, and she did. So I put her stuff out at the 31st at the end of the month.
And if her stuff was out on the lawn and it rained on it, do you think that was really the right thing to do instead of maybe even keeping it in the garage so she could come and get it?
Great question. And I did put a tarp on it. I did make sure it didn't get ruined when it was outside, and it did rain.
And when did this happen?
On the 31st, Your Honor.
Of what year?
October 2022.
All right.
And sir, I'm kind of curious.
Well, hold on. So I'm confused. This is after she left?
Mm-hmm.
And when do you say she left?
She left at the beginning of October, Your Honor.
And again, 1st, 10th, 15th, can you finalize that at all?
7/10. Let's just say the 10th. Let's say she left on the 10th, Your Honor.
All right. Okay.
And did you not, sir, hear my client testify that was incorrect? That indeed she left the third week, about the middle of the third week of October?
I don't know what to tell you. She lied to you. She lies a lot.
Okay. But you're not lying here at all today.
No, at all. Not at all.
And I'm kind of curious, sir, why you took her off your insurance because, well, let me ask you this. Did you read the standing order when this was filed?
No, sir.
Okay. And you didn't bother reading the legal work filed against you?
Okay. So Mr. Izzo, it was not that long ago. I heard what he said. He said that she said she didn't want to be on his insurance. And so he took her off. when the year started, the plan year started January 1st. It is not in writing. I understand the standing order, and so he's told his story. Is there something else about the story you want to ask him?
No,
it's not been asked, because I understand what that is.
And I could go back to HR and get her to put back on.
I need you, sir. Again, this is not a casual conversation. Wait until you're asked a question.
Yes, Your Honor.
I will pass, Your Honor.
Ms. Hogan, redirect.
I don't have any redirect, Your Honor.
Couple questions I have. Well, before I ask my questions, Mr. Izzo, do you have any rebuttal for Ms. Jones?
Just a couple of quickies.
All right, go ahead.
Ms. Jones, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. And again, I do not know the answers to these, ma'am. Just tell the court the truth. I'm kind of curious. Did you tell him to take you off his insurance?
No.
And he's shown some pictures here today about allegedly a bite mark and some marks you put on him a little over a year ago. Did you put those marks on him that you know of?
Not that I know of, no.
Did you wake him up and punch him in the face?
No.
I'm going to pass, Your Honor.
Any questions, Ms. Hogan?
Just one, Your Honor. Did Mr. Jones tell you how he got the bite mark?
I've never seen those pictures before, so I don't know.
Okay. Nothing further, Your Honor.
And Mr. Jones, again, the photographs are from about a year ago.
Yes, Your Honor, the same day. There's that video.
And so the video's a Ring camera, probably, right?
Yeah, there's another video as well, Your Honor, of her in the house.
Well, there was a 3-part of that video. Yeah, there's yet another video.
Deanna, do we not submit the video when she was in that house?
We don't have video in box of her in the house, but there is a video of her in the house.
And Your Honor, I do have one more question, if I may.
Okay.
Mr. Jones, you testified that you called the police that day.
I did not.
You didn't call the police?
No, I didn't testify that. I called the cops.
Okay, it's in your affidavit. That's what I meant. I apologize.
The affidavit is not in evidence.
Okay, but let me ask him then, Your Honor. Sir, in your affidavit, did you say that you called the police that day after you had your daughter get
the affidavit is not in evidence. If you want to bring up the affidavit and have us look at it, we can do that, but it's not in evidence at this time.
Okay, we'll move along, Your Honor.
I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying that the affidavit speaks for itself, and there's a way to produce that and show it. And if you want to, you're free to, but you're not going to talk about something that's not in evidence.
Well, all I wanted to do, Your Honor, respectfully, was ask the man if he said in his affidavit, which I could bring up at a final hearing if he says it isn't true now, and it is true.
You can bring it up at this hearing.
Okay.
That would be the best evidence of whether he said it in his affidavit. Because Mr. Jones is like 10,000 other litigants out there whose lawyers have them sign an affidavit, and they generally have no idea of what they're doing because they're relying on their lawyer, and they don't even remember what's in there because the lawyer staff drew it up. So if you want to show it to me and let's see what he said, then I'm happy to look at it.
And Your Honor, we could actually see if we could dig it up right now quick and put it in the box. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me see if I can get it quick for you, Your Honor. Let me see it, Dawn. Well, let's not. Let me call it. Your Honor, I can't locate it right now. I'm not going to hold us up on that one issue. I'll deal with it later. I'll try to find it because I don't have it in front of me.
So I'm looking in the court file, and this was from November 23rd.
Well, Your Honor, I could ask him a different question if it'll just solve the question. I mean, if it'll solve the problem.
Hold on.
Because I don't have that in front of me.
Hold on.
Okay.
So his affidavit says, I was able to get them to leave when I threatened to call the police.
Okay. All right.
That is what the affidavit says.
And Your Honor, I may be thinking of the fact that he said when they came out of the school, he's the one that called the police.
That may be the confusion.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
So, Mr. Jones, let me go to the easy question first. Ms. Jones, you were on his, and Mr. Jones, who do you work for?
A company called Corvalent. I'm a sales manager here.
And a big company, national company, local company, what?
Yeah, local, based out of Cedar Park. Been around for 30 years.
How many employees?
58, I think, exactly.
All right. And she was on the insurance through the end of December.
Yes, sir.
The calendar year or the plan year, whatever, was started over January 1st, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And Ms. Jones, you were on that insurance policy historically, correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right. Mr. Jones, has she always been on that plan? How long have you been with that company?
I've been with this company for 6 months, and she's been on my insurance for 20 years.
All right. So, if you've been with the company 6 months, then you started middle of last year.
Correct. Yes, sir.
And when you started, after whatever, maybe, there's a 30, 60-day grace period or waiting period sometimes. Was she put on initially?
Yes.
Last year?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
All right. And then what is the conversation you had with her about the 2023 year?
Yeah, we were at dinner and we were talking about it. It just came up casually, and I said, "So do you want me to put you on the insurance?" Since I asked if she had any surgery she needed to get done. She told me no. I'm gonna have to get a surgery, and that's what it brought up. And she said, "No, I don't want to be on your insurance." I said, "Okay, are you sure?" I asked her multiple times. She said, "I don't want anything to do with it." And I said, "Okay."
What will it cost to put? Well, so I'm taking this from memory, but it seems like your budget says that the cost for the child is $321 for health and dental.
Yes, sir. You're right, Your Honor. Just for her, I think it's another $300 to add Micah, Your Honor.
That's going to be the next question. All right. Okay. Miss Jones, when did you find out that you were not on that insurance anymore?
I actually just found out in court today. I didn't know that.
Do you have any regular medical needs such as allergies or asthma or anything like that that requires regular, more frequent visits than a lot of people?
No, I'm pretty healthy.
I'm sorry, it's your connection again. Tell me that again, please.
No, I'm pretty healthy. Just like routine doctor visits or.
Sure. Okay. All right. Would you like to be back? Well, you haven't had time to look because you just found out. Would you like to be back on that policy?
Sure.
All right. All right, Mr. Jones.
Yes, Your Honor.
When you found out that when this officer called you on the day that you were changing schools for your daughter, what conversations did you have with Miss Jones about the alleged incident?
None, Your Honor.
Why?
The detective said she was going to contact her next.
Well, okay, but let's just think about how this could have spooled out. And, you give the detective a day or so to call your wife to talk about it. Mm-hmm. But it seems to me that this is a topic that you and Ms. Jones should have had a conversation about.
Well, yes, Your Honor, it is correct. I talked to my daughter about it.
Well, but that's an important part of this equation, but it seems like it would have been important to discuss the allegations with the mother.
You're right, Your Honor. The reason
and you didn't do it, and you just didn't do it.
There's a reason, Your Honor.
Okay, tell me.
I wanted to see if she was going to be honest with me because of all the lies in our relationship. I wanted to see if she was going to tell me the truth, and she didn't.
Well, but she didn't tell you it. You never had a conversation to say a word.
Well, just to see if she would come clean. She didn't.
So what I'm imagining from this is you were then anticipating that once the officer called her, then she would call you and say, hey, this thing has happened. We need to talk about it.
Correct, Your Honor.
So you're putting the monkey on her back.
Correct, just to see if she can be honest.
Why does she need to be honest and you didn't need to be honest with her because you knew?
Your Honor, she's watching my daughter. I want to see if she's going to communicate since she's watching my daughter, if she was going to be honest and if she be involved in my daughter's life, and she was. It's not.
So a summation of your concerns at this point might be that your daughter has sort of aligned with your wife and is taking your wife's side. Is that fair?
Yes, Your Honor, that's fair.
So, the standard possession order that you're entitled to, assuming the child stays with the mother full time, let me make that clear first, is first, third, and fifth weekends from school to school, Friday to Monday, and then every Thursday overnight in the school year. And I'm going to ignore the holidays for now because it's the school nights I'm more concerned about on a week-to-week basis. So in a 2-week period, you would have Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and then Thursday and the other week. In a 14-day block, you'd have 5 nights of 14 during the school year.
That'd be great.
Well, okay. So if you have 5 nights, then she has 9 nights. 5 and 9 equal 14, right? So that's 1/3, 2/3 almost.
Sure.
That's what you get for living, walking, breathing as a normal non-custodial parent. You're saying you want to flip that, and you would have the 9 nights and she'd have the 5 nights.
Yes, Your Honor.
So if you have the 9 nights instead of 5 nights, Do you have any concerns about what living with an angry 14-year-old will be like?
Your Honor, I've lived with her for her whole life, and I'm confident that once Mom and Cameron separate and I get my time back with my daughter, we can rebuild that relationship and she'll get back on track. I'm confident about that.
All right. Miss Jones, what about the toll tag situation? Or not toll tag, but toll fees.
Yeah, I mean,
why is he paying your toll fees?
Wasn't aware of those, so I'm happy to take care of that. He's not paying my toll fees.
Well, do you all have toll tags, or is this just getting billed in the mail?
I think that might be a bill.
Okay, you're breaking up. Let me ask Mr.
I haven't gotten any mail from him.
Stop. Mr. Jones, do these cars have toll tags, or are you getting mail bills from time to time?
I'm getting mailed bills, Your Honor, and I'm giving them to Micah. She's aware of this issue, Your Honor.
And you all live in Pflugerville, so you're close to some tollways. It would
Yes,
be
Your Honor. Right on the toll road.
I mean, I live in the middle of town and I have a toll tag. Wouldn't it be easier to have toll tags?
We had toll tags, Your Honor. After the COVID stuff, I don't know what happened. I guess they changed the systems, so it's just reverted back to just bills in the mail, Your Honor. And they were all on my credit card anyways for all 4 vehicles, so I was paying that as well.
Well, okay, but the point being is that if it's a toll tag and it's tied to an account, then your account's getting tagged for fees, but you're not paying late fees or any of that, and it's not hurting your credit.
This is hurting my credit, though.
All right. And so, Miss Jones, how much do you drive the Acura versus the Jeep?
I never drive the Acura. It's actually just been sitting in my driveway since I got it back.
Well, when did you get it back?
I got it back a couple months ago, maybe a month and a half.
So it was because you moved, you just didn't move the car till later. Is that probably what happened?
It was just sitting in front of the house.
I'm sorry, you have a crappy connection. I didn't hear that. Could you say that again, please?
It was in. Yeah, I was saying I've had it maybe a couple of months now. Before that, it was just sitting in front of the house.
Because you just hadn't gone to get it yet with the move.
So I don't use ever. It's like kind of a tire that needs to be like aired up, and I haven't moved it.
Okay, all right.
I didn't understand that. I'm sorry. I didn't hear what she said.
She said that the tires needed aired up, and she just hadn't attended to it. Is there a reason why we can't transfer the Acura? Is there a reason why we can't transfer the title to the Acura into her name now if there's no loan on it?
Nope. I gave her the title, Your Honor, and I've been happy to transfer it. I've actually requested to transfer it, Your Honor.
All right. So I can take care of that piece. All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
What else does anybody want to tell me? Mr. Izzo?
Nothing else, Your Honor. I think the court's going to make its decision.
Ms. Hogan?
Your Honor, I unless the court's asking for a closing, I don't have anything else to add.
No, I'm not looking for a closing. All right. And Ms. Jones, are you hearing us okay? Because we don't hear you worth a darn, but are you hearing me?
I can hear you better now.
All right. So my concern, well, Ms. Jones, did the Pflugerville School PD ever try to contact you about this alleged jumping?
No, sir. I have yet to talk to a detective.
that's not quite the question. The question is, has Pflugerville APD, someone from Pflugerville School PD, attempted to call you and leave a message saying they needed to talk to you about this event?
No, sir.
And Mr. Jones, do you know the name of the officer you talked to?
I do not, but I can find it out, Your Honor.
Because I would be very concerned about that little piece of this drama.
Me too, Your Honor.
And I have questions and credibility issues with both of you on different pieces of your testimony. It defies logic and imagination that you could have a child with attendance problems, Miss Jones, and then you never took the time to log into the system that tells you whether she is in attendance or not, to deal with it in real time, and you're mystified and have no good explanation for all these absences that this child clearly had early in January. It defies logic that you would be that detached from this situation. Now, if I later hear that someone from the school, another piece that doesn't make sense, is if this detective or officer or whoever it was that talked to Mr. Jones said he was going to call Miss Jones, and this is some 2 months ago almost, and the officer didn't do it, well, then I guess, maybe they have more important things to do. But if I hear that that officer called Miss Jones and she's lied about it, then I'm going to be very concerned and unhappy. Because the video from a year ago is not very flattering to Ms. Jones. And and I have concerns about both of you not having sufficient adult behavior to parent a potentially headstrong 14-year-old. So the only thing I know to do is to do a week on, week off schedule so we can see who gets the child to school and where the child has absences. And you're both being under a microscope to see who is able to get this child to school. I don't know the truth of the matter. The story that Mr. Jones has laid out. Oh, there is one other thing I asked. Miss Jones, are you having a relationship with some married couple? Or did he just make that up?
He made that up.
And Mr. Jones, what is your evidence for that relationship?
I can bring it to you if you'd like, Your Honor.
Well, no, you don't need to bring it to me. Just tell me what it is.
Videos, pictures, all kinds of stuff. Inappropriate stuff, Your Honor.
Videos and pictures obtained from how?
Sex.
Well, I know, but you're not the one involved in the sex. So
no, in the beginning I was. In the beginning I was. And then she told me that she kept it up.
Oh, I missed that part of it.
Yes, sir.
So was there, and there is no judgment here. There's only honesty. Miss Jones, were you all in a situation where that happened as a group activity, couples activity?
I mean, we've been together for a long time, so maybe once or twice, but I never had an affair on him.
Well, you as a couple engaged with another couple for some recreational activities. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, there's nothing. I don't care. I just want honesty.
Me too.
Because then where the I care part might happen is his story is that you kept that up. He didn't want to do that, yet you kept doing it to his unhappiness. That's the allegation. And that's where then the honesty part becomes important, because if you're lying about it, then that's not a good thing. But he thinks you continued on, and he thinks he has pictures that show that you have continued on without him with this activity. And you're saying no.
No, that's not.
I'm sorry. I'm not hearing everything you're saying.
That's not true. Actually, he's actually the cheater, not me.
I'm sorry. I can't. Please say that again.
I'm saying it's funny, he's actually the cheater, not me. And I have evidence of that, him getting prostitutes, and so.
Well, the time for revealing that information was before now. But your testimony is that while you two might have done some group activities, you have not continued that by yourself. Is that your position?
Yes.
All right. Okay. All right. All right. So I'm going to point, after listening to evidence, I'm going to appoint the parties joint managing conservators of their child and have them share the rights and duties of the parental rights as set out in the family code. The exception is that the child is to remain at Weiss High School unless the parties jointly decide to have her go back to Hendrickson, if that's an option. But she doesn't need to make another change at this time, unless y'all have to come back to court. If there's something that comes up and you think it needs to happen, that doesn't mean you can't come back to court to ask for it. But for now, I'm going to maintain that status quo. He'll have week on, week off. Starting tomorrow, we'll do exchanges on Fridays. And I assume this child has a cell phone. You'd be guilty of parental abuse if a 14-year-old didn't have a cell phone. And so I'm assuming she can call each of you when she wants to, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So in terms of electronic access, then each parent is allowed to call on Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday when they are not in possession of the child, but the child can call the other parent at any time that they want to. But if the child's not, for whatever reason, not being regular in communication with the other parent during the off week, then that parent can talk to the child on Sunday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Y'all talk about what time would make sense. I'm not going to get into that at this moment. He's awarded the use of the marital home. She's awarded the use of her apartment or whatever it is, house, duplex. She has her 2 cars. He has his 2 cars. Y'all are ordered to transfer title to her Acura to her by the end of next week so that the toll tag situation is no longer an issue. Toll charge situation is no longer an issue. Are there unpaid toll charges for the Acura at this point?
Yes, Your Honor, in the tone of $500.
All right. And your testimony to me is you've turned all that over to her as those have been incurred?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So Ms. Jones is ordered to contact the toll authority by next Friday. I think that's the 3rd, and make arrangements to take care of that indebtedness. I don't care how you work it out. If it's old, and I could be wrong on this, but it's my understanding that if you call them and you have a bunch of delinquent stuff, you can make a plan to pay it out over some period of time. So, but I'm not telling you how to do it. Just contact them and deal with it. That way that just takes that little thing out of the mix, and so he's ordered, and I think, and I don't, I don't know what to believe on the insurance thing. I can see her having said that. I can see him just doing it because it was the end of the year and a new plan year. And I don't ascribe bad motives to that, but I also don't like people not being insured. I think it's dangerous. And given how much you all earn, it's silly not to pay for that. So I'm going to order that you there'll be a court order that will allow this to happen. Because if you're outside the enrollment period, they may give you some grief, but there'll be a court order that says she has to be placed back on that insurance as soon as possible.
Yes,
and
sure.
she will need to pay that incremental cost each month to Mr. Jones for that insurance.
Yes, Your Honor.
I need to look at the budgets to see what the money is. Hold on a second. So his budget says his gross is 6,300, and she says that her net is 5,800, and that's after taxes, is what I heard her say. And I know we don't have, and she's self-employed, so she doesn't have neat paycheck stubs like he does, and that's not her fault. That's just the situation we find ourselves in. But if she's netting 5,800 and he is grossing 6,300, she probably grosses a few more $100 than he does each month, I would think. Just not being a math whiz, but that's just logic would say that she's got to be making not even seven low sevens if you're going to factor out taxes. So I don't know. I think probably what would be fair is that she pay him the cost of the kid's health insurance in addition to her health insurance, and then that will help close the gap that he has in expenses at the house. But I don't see child support being paid from one to the other than dealing with the health insurance, because their incomes are very close to being the same amount.
Judge, I have to ask, are you including dental or just health? So the devil's in the details.
Well, dental, because I'm sorry, you have that as one line number. I'm going by, that's all I'm going by.
Okay.
So, she may owe him $640 a month. I mean, depending on what it costs to add her.
Yes, sir, Honor. I'll find out.
And then any unpaid medicals by the child, 50/50. Y'all are ordered to get into family therapy. I got distracted from this line of thought earlier. I've seen every permutation of family in the last 35 years, 11 as a judge. It's interesting always to see what teenager aligns with mom or dad, be it a boy or a girl, same gender, opposite gender. It's fascinating to me who ends up having conflict with their kids. It's just interesting. But I think we've clearly got a child in crisis, and it's important that you two have same rules and same expectations at each house. So y'all need to get in. And she's a freshman this year?
Yes, Your Honor.
So y'all need to get a family therapist to help you deal with whatever the deal is. Is it the child's just angry because you two are fighting all the time? And I'm not blaming you, but it's been chaotic for her. Chaotic may not be quite the right word, but you've been together, you've been apart, break up, get back together. That's a lot on a kid, and kids don't like generally their parents divorcing anyway. So it could just be she's doing those normal things, reacting to those kind of normal things. She could be running with a bad crowd. I don't know, but you with all these absences, it's got the makings of not a happy high school career, and we don't need we need to nip this in the bud now before she is lost. And you two, for as much as you dislike each other at this moment, you need to find a way to work as a team to deal with this issue, or else you're going to have unhappiness, an unhappy child, a child who may get into drugs, a child who may have other issues. And it's hard, it's counterintuitive when you two are trying to separate, that you two have to work together on this way, but you simply do. And I can't, you just have to find a way to put the animosity between the two of you to the side to deal with this issue, because the danger signs are there, and we've got to deal with it. You've got to deal with it.
Yes, Your Honor.
So Mr. Jones says he's in therapy. Ms. Jones, I would suggest if you've not been doing therapy, that you do some therapy to help you with whatever's going on.
In therapy.
Okay, well, good, because y'all, therapy is good.
It's good.
So I don't think either of you are terrible people. I think you've both done some silly things. I also there's not enough evidence to say anything. I'm not going to order any drug testing. I'm not going to order any ETG testing. I'm just going to tell each of you that children that age are watching. You need to model good behavior, appropriate drinking. Drinking is not illegal. An ETG test might show some over drinking. I'm not really a big fan of ETGs, but obviously, if he smokes some weed in Colorado, that's not illegal in Colorado. But you've got to model good behavior, good attitude towards alcohol to your teenager. What else do I need to order?
Your Honor, would you consider our family wizard, just so we get very clean messages?
I think our family wizard would be great. They're ordered to sign up for that. Children's Bill of Rights, fine, although as a 14-year-old, I'm not clear that, that's really helpful. You just need the child cannot hear you two trashing the other. And be careful when you're on the phone with friends. You can think you have privacy, but oftentimes you don't, because kids are sneaky. And the child just cannot hear you trashing, and you can't let your family trash each other, the other one, or friends. You cannot allow that to happen. This kid needs to be isolated from that kind of stuff.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I do have a question. You said family therapy. Are you wanting family therapy between the two parents, or family therapy which in some way incorporates the child, or the child getting therapy?
All of them.
Okay.
Because as I'm hearing this, Mr. Jones is setting rules and has expectations from his story, and mom is letting the kid do what she wants. And so I don't know if that's happening. But if it's happening, a kid is going to take every advantage that he or she can in that situation. And so you all need to have a family therapist to help you have consequences. Ideally, if she's, and I'm not playing this out, I'm just throwing out some for instances. If a child is skipping school and there's a consequence for it, what is that consequence? Well, I don't know. I'm not here to tell you what it is, but whatever it is should be agreed on by the two of you and enforced at both houses.
I agree.
That's the only way you're going to win that battle. And so I think a good family therapist can help you all thread that needle and figure out what's the appropriate thing to do.
You should.
And get, buy-in for the kid to the extent you can.
Do you, Judge, have anyone in mind that would?
I don't. Ooh, no, I'm out of the suggestion game.
Okay.
No. I mean, they're in, y'all live in Pflugerville. There's a ton of people, ton of good people. They're overworked people. The pandemic was hard on the therapy business, and both with how you do it and the fact that all of us needed it. And, we didn't ramp up therapists during that. So it's a hard, it will take a little time to find someone and find the right person. And it doesn't have to be done tomorrow, but y'all need to get to work on it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything else? We're going to have Ms. Hogan draft. I'm sorry, you cut out. What do you want to ask?